Ah, we're so back. We are back. Tell them we're back. How back are we? Meow. Um, we're back, dude. We're back. It's been a long time, but I started trading at work mostly a little bit, kind of. Well, yeah, only I'm at work when the market's open, so I started trading at work. Um, just couldn't get that one open. There we go. Um, I'm not really trading. I'm just looking at. I started this past couple weeks looking at Trading View again. I tried actually trading it, like the paper trade, but it's so bad. I think if you have delayed data, it like trades at the real time price, but so it places your order. Yeah, it is just bad. It places your order like you're seeing real time data, but you're seeing delayed data. Um, so I think I just want to go back and look at a few, just the week. And it continues, never, never ceasing to amaze. Just like that, the fact that price keeps reacting at these higher time frame levels. Um, I'm just drawing out 1 hour zones. Um, yeah, like overnight or previous day lows. I should really be drawing them out more consistently, but yeah, it's interesting. Let's start with Monday. We had this zone here, demand zone, that obviously failed. I think I might have taken a long in here somewhere. Also, the 5 minute opening ranges interesting to look at. This guy's calling my foot. What are you doing? Yeah, I think somewhere in here I might have taken a long, and I think I got, well, I don't know. But I remember there being like a 1-to-1 somewhere. But it wouldn't have obviously worked because it just turned into uh like that might have been the 1-to-1 that I took. Oh, God, I hate you. Yeah, I really hate how it changes. Um, Maybe somewhere in here. Like this would have been a good long. And the trouble always is like you want to use the zone as the stop, but really you got to use that because that's crazy. But you get a 1-to-1 out of that easily. Um, didn't get back up to that 200 EMA. So you could have caught a scalp off of this reaction from the trouble is if you take this first reaction and use this as your stop because you probably get stopped out here before a 1-to-1 happens. Let's just stick to the 5 minute because this is a nightmare. Okay, that's Monday. We had a big collapse. I remember this being an interesting day because of how it reacted to the opening range, 5 minute opening range. This also didn't come into play yet Tuesday, but I drew this out Tuesday and I was ready. Like it bounced really notably off of this zone once, and currently we haven't gotten below it. Um, what did happen on Tuesday was a little bit of consolidation in the morning. It faked up, went down, came back up, hit the, I mean, really it bounces off the 5 minute OR midline twice. One, two. I like this a little better because this kind of pushes down more, comes back up to it, pushes down more, and leaves the zone there. It goes down to the over yesterday's low, I think. Let's do this bite. Yesterday's low, and then comes back up to the zone. You gotta be careful here because you might expect it to bounce off the bottom of the 5 minute OR. And if you did short that, you'd be fine if your stop was up here, but that's pretty big distance. So waiting for something in here. And again, like if you did short this, even though you're right, if you use the bar um, as a stop, you get stopped out when it comes back up here, and then it would go. So a little tough. Just more evidence in favor of using that zone or that OR as the stop. So 48.50. Why am I not using this? Something like this. And then, of course, you could hold this forever. Not forever, but you could still be no. You could hold this. You couldn't even hold it overnight, actually, if you were using this as your stop. But also interesting that it only overnight it just came up to the top of this 5 minute OR. Like it's respecting the 5 minute OR. And then this level it kind of just plays below it, bounces off that into the next day's overnight. Um so yeah, the open looked like this. Just dumped on the open. Got another bounce off the bottom of the OR. And, again, this, like if you did take the bounce off the bottom of the OR, on the 5 minute, well, you do have a nice red candle right here. So yeah, man, it's all about the zone. You also have this zone, which lines up with the 5 minute. Um, you could take that, or you could wait for it to go higher. I don't think I was looking at that. Either probably use the midpoint. It's 1 to 1. And if you kept that stop open, you could hold that one until now for moved 250 points since then. I've also been looking at NinjaTrader Live. It's nice to get a little context. So this right here, the like 29,600 range, 29,600 area, around in the afternoon, 2:33. It was consolidating, couldn't really get up above it. You could also look at. I'm trying, especially while I'm working, I'm trying to stay away from like drawing intraday zones. I think like this was a very obvious one on the 5 minute, and it was still like fairly early. It was like in the morning, and it just lined up with this so well with the 5 minute OR. You could draw like this, and you would see it. But what was also happening here in terms of volume? This is on NinjaTrader Live 18th. You can see there the 29,600 area where that consolidation was happening. There's this big offer was hitting right at this level this is some kind of delta or volume star. I don't really know, but also the volume profile just was not. There was no interest above this level. You can see it like wicked above there. So I don't think these guys took a short around here, and it's also late in the day, but that looked pretty good to me. A short somewhere in there. I don't know exactly what your trigger is. But if you're seeing this play out, could be good. That's all I wanted from this. Yeah, we looked at Wednesday, and then here, important, important. This 1 hour zone that we've bounced out of once already. And I'm sure there was some NinjaTrader volume reason to mark. That's also why I look. You don't always get the same guys, but there's a couple of guys who I like looking at their like 1 hour and daily charts, the way that they have volume set up and everything. I've had a similar setup in other videos of mine. Um, but I just can't. I don't have this set up or the subscriptions to look at it right now. Um, but this is blocked out. It bounces in the morning. This is still a strong downtrend, but it does get this big bounce here in the afternoon. During the day, though, like you might still be looking for shorts, but maybe only into this. I don't love this. I don't love using that, but you could look at that. But the morning was really choppy. Came down in there. You could just try longing out of that. Pretty consequential zone. If you're gonna try to like, it's just been a huge short week. Like if you're making money, a lot of it is just off of shorts. At least the way I'm looking at it. So if you are gonna take a long, it shouldn't be some willy-nilly. It should be like this major higher time frame zone. We're getting confirmation that it's still being reacted to. Um, and then you try to make a play in here. But again, like it also doesn't like really solve our rule of like you want to wait until a high is broken here before shifting to the long side. And by the time that happens, the day's over pretty much. And you would just have to play intraday stuff. Friday. I don't know if I looked on Friday what was happening. Another bounce off of here. Doesn't look like a great reaction, but you could take a nap. You could play this zone that formed at the open. A little short ski. That would have worked eventually. You would have had to hold it all early afternoon and then kind of nothing really happened the rest of the day. But yeah, those are your options. The way I'm looking at it is interesting. But again, didn't really break this high very convincingly. I just want to see what the 5 minute opening range look like here. That was this candle. So yeah. All right. That's it.